Okay, this is how I get literally any guy I want to come up to me in public.
Oh, you're attractive, but you're not getting asked out? Here's why.
Why does nobody talk to us? We're like so pretty.
So I get a lot of questions about the best days to go out to find a man.
Men are literally everywhere. What they're looking for is a man of status to fund them.
Make men worship you. If you want men to worship you, the one thing you have to do is see yourself as royalty.
A woman likes a man that has confidence, like approach me, you know?
Where do like the 28-year-old single men hang out at? Because
Apparently a search party has begun. Good men are needed. They're becoming harder to find. Kindly subscribe to the channel, as it is our sole form of support. Thank you.
A woman likes a man that has confidence, like approach me, you know? Respectfully, that's something that I love. The fact that you're confident is gonna make me confident in you, and it just looks sexy. Confidence looks sexy on a man.
He's literally on his way up here and I have like a few minutes, but I wanted to make sure I recorded this just in case, we get married because I really like him. But yeah, so I don't know what tonight's gonna be like, and I'm excited to see what he plans on doing tonight. So he ended up telling me that he wasn't ready for anything serious and that I deserve better, and that's how the night ended. Just an update.
Well, at least he didn't ghost her, right? This is what most men say when they want to reject a woman. It's likely because they don't see a future with that person.
If I look materialistic, why would you ever approach me with no materials? That is insane. That is crazy. Get out of my face.
The reason broke or cheap men will sometimes pursue very materialistic, high maintenance, and expensive looking women is not because they genuinely want to be with a woman like this. It is because they are typically very insecure. And for them, knowing that they at least have a chance with you is a confidence boost. It is ego validation. And that's why sometimes they'll match with you on a dating app or take you on a date and then ghost you, because they don't care about getting to know you. They just care about their own ego validation. Follow me for more dating advice, and good luck.
That's incorrect. No man ever give it that much thought when approaching a woman. That man could have simply approached her because he thinks she looks good. But this woman here is a great example of why men aren't approaching like they used to. In her case, when a man approaches her, she expects something in return. Where exactly did modern women get this entitlement from? Many modern women have been conditioned to expect gifts, attention, or favors just because a man shows interest, creating a transactional vibe rather than fostering a genuine connection. This entitlement discourages men from approaching because the simple act of expressing interest now feels like entering into a negotiation.
I keep telling women, you only pick the men that you open your legs to. You do not pick the man that goes down on one knee. You don't. So you can make your choices and be free-willed and live up your best city girl life all you want, yeah? But at the end of it, you're not the one that's going to choose whether you're worth to be married or not. So I suggest you actually listen to men when they say what they want to marry.
They don't learn because they refuse to live in reality. So true. There is a big difference between the type of woman a man will sleep with and the type of woman a man will give a ring to. Women choose who they sleep with, but not who they marry. Men choose who they marry, but not who they sleep with. Independent women won't agree with this because they're busy trying to be equal to men. Hence why society is twisted like this. But life goes on anyway. Let them continue opening their legs. I want to see them in the next 20 years competing with 20-year-olds. The women she's describing are the ones with the rosters, the ones who has multiple guys lined up. Those types of women can only be taught a lesson by time, and that will be their biggest lesson and realization when they realize they've been giving themselves away for years and not a single man took them seriously. To cope with this harsh reality, many will claim, "We're single by choice," as if it was all part of their grand plan. But in truth, we've seen this pattern play out countless times. It's rinse and repeat until they finally come to their senses. The game they've been playing only works for so long before they're left wondering why none of these men ever committed.
Where do like the 28-year-old single men hang out at? Because like
28 to like 30.
You're so right. We're bopping around the West Village and I'm looking.
I'm looking. Eyes are peeled.
But I'm not finding them. So if you're 28 and single,
we live in New York. It shouldn't be that hard to find.
I was watching a podcast the other day and there was this female dating coach, not me. She was saying how men should approach because men have always approached. From the beginning of time, men have always approached women. I completely disagree. I actually have known for a long time that in the 50s, women used to drop their handkerchief for a man to pick it up. Drop her handkerchief like so, and for a gentleman to come and pick it up and say, sorry, miss, I think you dropped your handkerchief. And the idea was it was a subtle sign from a woman to a man of, hey, I want you to come talk to me. And it is no different in today's modern world. In fact, I think in today's modern world, we need that sign more than ever because men are worried for good reason that if they approach a girl who doesn't want to be approached, they're going to be labeled as a creep. And no one wants that. No man in his right mind wants to be thought of as a creep. And therefore, I think it is so important for women to be comfortable approaching. I'm not saying that a girl should walk up to you and say, hey, sexy, want to go on a date? No, but even just a simple, hey there, would you mind watching myself while I use the bathroom?
Yeah, I don't think modern women carry handkerchiefs anymore. It's more like lipstick or BBLs now. Women aren't comfortable approaching men because they want to feel like they're being chased. They want to feel superior. It's really an ego thing that's keeping them single. And it's so easy for women too, considering that they have an 86% chance of getting married if they make the first move. Most guys aren't willing to approach because they don't see benefits in doing it anymore. If modern women want a man, they're gonna have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable taking the first step.
Do anybody want to get in a relationship with me and go half on the rent and take trips? We can take turns cheating. I don't care no more at this point.
Okay, this is how I get literally any guy I want to come up to me in public. And no, this isn't about like when you like look at him 3 times and then smile the 3rd time and then like look away really quick. Like it's none of that. It's also not about how you're dressed, okay? It's about one thing. And that is your energy, okay? How is your energy being held? If your energy is on you and if you are the main character of your life, then you will naturally be the main character of everyone else's. The way I like to do this, and not purposely, but it just like fucking happens now, is I pretend there's a camera like straight ahead of me all the time. Like I'm in my own movie. Like there is a whole fucking camera crew around me. There are props. There are fucking antagonists. And whoever the fuck I want to talk to me is going to come up and talk to me because that's what happens. Like the people around us will come up and talk to us if we are the protagonist of the movie. Anyways, don't forget, hold on to that main character energy and you will not...
This is nonsense. All this proves is that women don't understand men. A woman could give a guy a simple compliment and he might remember it for years just because men don't get compliments on a daily basis. The reality is, men often don't experience the same level of validation that women do. So even the smallest act of kindness can leave a lasting impact. Women don't need to picture themselves as the main character like they're in some dramatic story. They just need to walk up to a guy and start a conversation. Most of the time, they'll succeed because men aren't used to being approached or complimented. Men appreciate directness and kindness, and they're often far more open to interaction than women think. It's not about creating some complex narrative or playing hard to get.
Make men worship you. If you want men to worship you, the one thing you have to do is see yourself as royalty, as a feminine goddess, as magnetic, as special, as beautiful. This is your self-concept. And this is how you're going to make them worship you. You're going to affirm the self-concept you want to replace with your old self-concept. You want to be magnetic. You want to be gorgeous. You want them to fall at your feet. then let yourself feel that way about yourself. Worship yourself. You're beautiful. You're magnetic. You're in your feminine energy. Take a step back into that feminine energy. Let them take care of you. Let them worship you. Let them open the doors for you. Let them treat you like a freaking princess. Affirm, I'm a princess. I'm magnetic. I am beautiful. I'm special. I am worthy. I'm the prize. I am a goddess. This is how you change your self-concept and get them worshiping you. You worship yourself and they will conform like that. The way they treat you is a direct reflection of how you think and feel about yourself. Step into your goddess energy. Put yourself on a pedestal and watch how fast they'll come chasing you.
I guess this is what I would call self-delusion. Women who actually take this advice aren't looking for a man. They're looking for a yes man. These women put themselves on a pedestal and create a list of unrealistic demands when searching for a partner. Those are the women that believe they deserve everything without having to put the work in. This kind of attitude makes them extremely hard to deal with, because no relationship can thrive when one person expects to be constantly worshipped. These demanding women often push good men away because they're more focused on what they can get out of a man than on building a mutual, respectful connection. It never works out. If a woman is constantly telling herself she's the prize, she deserves this and deserves that, all she's doing is expecting everything while giving little in return. It's best to run away.
So I get a lot of questions from people and conversations, chatting that I have with girlfriends about the best days to go out to the bar to find a man. So I'm gonna give you two things in this video right now. First thing, the best days. The best days, I say, are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you are trying to find someone to date, if you're trying to find someone to have fun with, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And let's remember, these are two different things. When you're going to a bar to meet a man during the week, you want to go as early as possible. Not lunchtime, not that early. But depending upon where you are geographically, whenever work is ending. So if there's happy hours that start at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, I would get there then, if possibly then a little bit earlier. I generally go, when I end up mingling with people at the bar, I go by myself. I don't go with girlfriends. And I go, that kind of puts you in a little spot because you're like, how do I talk to him? What do I do? I bring my laptop with me as well. So it's almost like I've been working, I'm finishing up some things, because this way, if the man does want to talk to you, he doesn't feel like he has to talk to two girls and then he has to break up a conversation. So go alone, go Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and go right after work. Once you hit that 8 o'clock hour, it's too late. We've gone too far. We want to stay earlier in the evening when someone is still ready to talk, when they're not in a late in the night mindset, when they're decompressing, they're looking to, just to relax, and they stumble and meet someone where they're chatting, when they're trying to have fun, not when they're at the party stage, when they're the night is getting longer, they've had a couple drinks. So we want to keep it early, during the week, after work, and alone. Those are my 3 tips. Follow for more. Why didn't I think of that? Dating advice.
I meet all of the men that I date in real life. I deleted all of my dating apps and I'm very good at meeting them. And here are 3 of my top moves that you can use to meet men in real life. First, go eat at the bar at a restaurant alone on a weeknight. It's a really fun experience anyway. Start talking to the bartender. There are always single men eating alone at the bar on weeknights. Go to a spot that's not like a date spot, but that is like a hip restaurant. Talk to the bartender and then start involving the people around you in conversation. Involve some guy you think is cute in a task. So what I used to do, probably still do, is I went to the doctor and they told me I was 5'4", but I am 5'6". So I'd go up to a guy and I would say, "How tall are you?" and "Do not lie to me." And then whenever they would tell me, I would say, "Okay, so how tall am I?" And I would slip my shoe off, or if I was wearing flats, I wouldn't. And then I would say, "How tall do you think I am?" And then I would say, "I'm 5'6", and this doctor told me I'm 5'4", but I am not 5'4", I'm 5'6". That works really well. Third, if you want to go out with a friend, get too dressed up. Wear like a cocktail dress. Don't wear a ball gown, but get way too dressed up for the venue, and then go sit at the bar and then be like, just make up a story. Be like, "Yeah, we were at this event for this thing and it just totally sucked, so we left. It seemed like it would be way more fun here to come and meet you." I promise those will work, guys. Bye.
I think what I've learned from this is that women will go to great lengths to avoid men, rather than simply approaching them. Even this woman herself said, "This is insane," which speaks volumes about how far some women are willing to distance themselves from the idea of direct engagement with men, instead of taking a straightforward approach, like walking up to a guy and starting a conversation. They create all these scenarios in their heads.
Why does nobody talk to us? We're like so pretty. I know, right? We're hella pretty.
Wondering how to get your crush to notice you is honestly one of the worst things. Believe me, we've all been there. Lena has some tips for you to try to help build an initial connection. The best way is to start small, so things like smiling at them or try and meet their eye or just say hi if you're walking past them in the corridors or out and about. Then try and strike up a conversation. If you feel confident enough, then try and talk to them about something you have in common or just compliment them. One of the best things you can do is to try and develop a friendship first. Building a friendship slowly and steadily is the best way to get to know someone.
The more I listen and I listen, the more I'm thinking. You don't need a girlfriend, you just need a therapist.
It's so weird to me that women can twist and turn and make everything about themselves because the male loneliness epidemic has nothing to do with dating women or men not being able to date. But somehow these women have twisted it and concocted it and made it about them. Oh, the irony. Posts like this are a perfect example of how so many women lack empathy, and what I mean by that is they lack the ability to put themselves in a man's shoes because they don't care to, which is even more fucked up in my opinion. But they can't imagine a world where even when you go to therapy, the odds are against you because most therapists are biased and they're against men to begin with. Most therapists validate women's feelings because they're going to generate more clientele through the women than they do the men. So imagine the one safe space that people are telling you to go to isn't even a safe space. And women love to always throw out their trauma and their childhood and all of this as if men don't experience any form of childhood abandonment or mother issues or daddy issues or anything like that. But if you tell a man that, it's immediately invalidated. So women can't even fathom a world where everything is invalidated, which is why they lack so much freaking empathy. Like imagine, you can't speak about your feelings because you're going to be looked at as weak. You can't have interpersonal relationships because nobody's going to talk about their business with each other and it's very surface level bullshit. Otherwise, you're looked at as too feminine. Grow up. Eat it. Deal with it. You're a man. But then I have to wonder if your dad or your brother came to talk to you about an issue, are you going to just dismiss them like this? Because there's thousands of women in the comments laughing, oh, it's a man's fault. Of course they need women. They're crybabies, blah, blah, blah. But when it happens to you, it's different. I also pray to God that women like this never have sons that come home crying to them about how lonely they feel and then they get laughed at. Okay, bye.
Yeah, male loneliness isn't simply because women won't date men. It runs much deeper. Some men are in relationships and still feel lonely. It's not just about physical presence. Men often feel emotionally disconnected or unappreciated, even when they have a partner. Many times men feel like they can't express their emotions, fears, or vulnerabilities without being judged or seen as weak. The expectation for men to always be the strong, silent provider adds to this loneliness. They're often carrying emotional burdens alone because society tells them that opening up isn't masculine. So, even when men are surrounded by people, including their partners, they can still feel completely misunderstood and unsupported. This emotional isolation only worsens the mental health crisis among men, leading to feelings of emptiness, frustration, and even depression. It's a complex issue that goes beyond whether or not women are dating men. It's about how men are treated and valued in their relationships.